Good evening. How are you guys doing? I hope y'all ready for tonight's video. If you are not aware, I am doing a part 2 to the Jin and Juice situation because Gohan has came out with his side of things in a more mature manner, which is fair to react to because I reacted to the other videos. So hopefully this is the last one. This should be the last one. I actually want to move past this because Suros has decided to move past this and move on with her life. And I'm sure she's wanting to move on with her life because if I was her, that's what I would want to do. So let me go ahead and get into. Oh, if you guys are not aware, I'm doing 2 lives tonight. So I have them scheduled. So yes, I'm spoiling you guys. I'm doing 2 separate lives tonight. So make sure you have your post notifications on. But let me go ahead and get into my intro and then I'll be back. Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Alrighty. Okay, so first, I'm going to surprise you with this one because I already know this video is going to be extremely long and I feel like people are not going to catch this if I put it at the end. But first, I have to give my commentary on this viral video. Okay. Because men swear I don't hold men swear I don't hold women accountable. You know, they're never here for those accountability videos for us. But I'm going to talk about this. Let me go ahead and play the video. I'm going to warn you. This woman is very loud. So if you have earbuds in or headphones in, go ahead and turn your volume down. I'll wait. Because nobody warned me and I had in my earbuds and I'm just like, oh my God. I was actually very disturbed. So, okay, I'm assuming you've turned down your volume. Let me go ahead and play the audio, the video.
Only getting careful for just him and not the other kids, his siblings. Them are his siblings though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. No, why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car.
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring? So when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. They were your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? So you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine. What
yeah, like? They're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me?
Because I'm exposing. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all. Then he can't take that. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I could maybe.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Very, very blunt and honest with y'all about this. I think this is eye-opening for women that are not prioritizing proper uh PUSS management. Okay. And that's just real because one thing that I like to do when it comes to situations like this, I like to think very logically about the situation, right? And I like to zero in at where this all started. And it starts with the mother because these are her kids, right? She decided to lay down with I don't know how many men and procreate. That's what she decided to do. Now she's wanting to put the blame on this man because I guess he's doing for his child and the other men are not. But that's not his responsibility. And it's also not the children's fault either. So my issue with this is a lot of women are saying, well, it's going to cause sibling rivalry. She should have thought about that prior. She should have thought about how her choices would affect her children. She can't sit up here and expect for a man to do for other kids when it's not his responsibility. It's not. Actually, it's her responsibility because her choices put her in this position. So if we're going to hold someone accountable, it would have to be the mother because it doesn't just stop at McDonald's, you guys. And when it comes to fairness with me, I always reverse. So say this was a woman. Let's use Mariah Carey for a prime example. Nick Cannon divorced Mariah Carey, right? Which is Mariah Carey's ex-husband, right? He decided to go out and create and procreate with half the town. Okay. So are you telling me that now that he decided to make that choice, that now it's her responsibility to bring food every time she drops her kids off to their fathers or to bring extra toys or extra clothes every time? The sibling rivalry is always going to be there. And to be honest, if you are a woman in this situation, I think the only thing that you can truly do is just be transparent with your kids so that childhood or sibling rivalry is not an issue among your children, because I don't feel like there's really anything that she can really do to prevent it, because even if he picked up the child, took the child out to eat and took him wherever, even if he brought even when he brings the child back home, right? And his other siblings are like, "Where'd you go with your dad? Where did you and your dad go?" And then the child, because you know how children are very curious. So the child is going to respond, "Oh, well, my dad, he took me out to eat." And then still, even then, those kids are going to feel a certain type of way. Or maybe he wanted to put his son in extracurricular activity, right? Some type of sport, football, basketball, whatever the case may be. He's showing up, he's doing for his child. Is he supposed to now pay for those other children? That sibling rivalry is going to be there simply because of the choices that the mother made. And that's something that she's going to have to deal with. And the only way she can really handle it is by being transparent with her children. Because not only is there sibling rivalry, there's cousin rivalry. You know, a lot of people be out here competing with their cousin because their parents are able to do things that maybe other parents are not able to do. And so family, when it comes to cousin dynamics, they see that. And so that creates some type of cousin rivalry. It's never going to stop. So I think this is just a situation where she is going to have to take full accountability for her actions. And also, we women, we're going to have to start thinking about these type of situations and scenarios, because it's not something that we really think about. I'm sure she wasn't thinking about how her children would be affected by her choices. And so it's not his fault that she has this sibling rivalry going on in her home. That was based off of the choices that she made. So I understand where people are coming from with the sibling rivalry, but honestly, the only way to get around that is just her being transparent with her children, because it's never going to stop. I mean, even if he did take the child out to McDonald's, or maybe he spends quality time with his children, that sibling rivalry is still going to be there. And so I think it's just a hard pill to swallow for a lot of women that they would have to take accountability in this situation, because that is the only way this could maybe turn around in a more positive direction. But he's not obligated. Would it have been nice of him? Of course, it would have been nice of him to get all the kids food. But at the same time, he's not obligated. A lot of people are saying that it's McDonald's, but it costs though. Even though it's just McDonald's, it costs. And I don't know his financial situation. We don't know if it was a stretch just for him to get his son McDonald's. We don't know that. We don't know. And then some people are saying that he was being petty and everything like that. And it's just in the situations like this, I think that it's just not realistic, y'all. It's not realistic. It's just not realistic. It's not his responsibility. It would have been nice, but it's simply not. Because if I was in his situation, I'm not about to go buy all my ex's kids food. If he decided to go out here after me and create a bunch of babies with other people, I'm not obligated to pay their way or to pay for every little thing. That's how people take advantage of you. So I don't know. I'm not here for it. And we live in a Me Too type of society now. So if you think that this is okay, please understand that this will be used against you as well. So depending on how your mind works and how your way of fairness is in your mind, understand that it goes both ways now, especially today. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's what he wanted to do for his kid, get McDonald's, and that's it. She got too many kids. He should have asked for the kids to come outside and didn't say he had food. He may not have had enough money for the others. But even if the kid would have went outside and ate the McDonald's in the car, that sibling rivalry, the issue that she's complaining about, is still going to be there. I think that she needs to sit down. I think she needs to be transparent with her children so that they can all have an understanding that, unfortunately, due to her choices and decisions, this sibling's father is showing up, and unfortunately, your father is not. And there's nothing that she can really do about that. There's nothing that she can do. So it's just unfortunate. This is horrible. But I hope women are learning from this experience. Is this a situation that you want to be in? Do you want to have to deal with the fact that you made choices to have children by different men, and now your children don't get along? And I've seen this in my own family. Half siblings not getting along because they have some type of resentment from a dad doing one thing or their dad doing one thing, and then the other sibling's dad is not. Like, I've seen it, and it's horrible. It creates jealousy, envy, and all type of stuff in the family. So she needs to take full accountability, and it is what it is, you guys. It is what it is. You can't put this all on the man when it's her choices that led to the sibling rivalry. It is what it is. It starts there. Okay, so I'm going to move on. And I'm going to move on to the Gin and Juice situation real quick. Oh, wait, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Okay, here's the video. Okay, so Gohan came out with a video. He also came out with a recording. So, no, I'm about to start the Gohan or the Gin and Juice storyline now. But let me find it first because I forgot. What did he... Okay, so he titled the video, "My Final Video About This Manner." So let's see what he has to say, you guys. Oh, before I start the video,
This is Gohan. Most of you guys watching this video right now probably seen the video I uploaded. And
before I start the video, I wanted to say, I don't feel like Soros is I don't feel like she's divested. I don't feel like she's a part of divestors. I have to make that known because it's just the truth. You know, like I don't feel like she's a divester. She may be a swirler, but I don't consider her a divester. Okay. And it's something that I have to make known, but she just doesn't embody what divesting is all about. So she may be a swirler, but she's not a divester. So I just have to make that known on this channel when it comes to this situation and conversation. And I'm not saying it because divestors had an issue with my first video. I'm saying it because it's just the truth, you guys. When you divest and you truly are about divesting, you simply are not going to put up with things that you would have put up with previously. You divest from toxicity, dysfunction, trauma, anything that pertains to just, you know, things that you just don't want to deal with anymore. That may include family. You know, you go no contact with family. You are divesting from anything and everything that does not serve your highest purpose. And I don't think she did that when she decided to date out, when she decided to swirl. She just decided to date a man, and she didn't go through the whole healing process or transitional process when it comes to divesting. You know, she just started swirling. And so I think this is a cautionary tale about when you don't do the inner work, you don't do the inner healing, right? You're just a swirler, but you're not a divester. So that's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to move on. So let me go ahead and get into this video.
All of this is my fault. Hello, this is Gohan. Most of you guys watching this video right now probably seen the video I uploaded and Zero's uploaded. Before I start this video, I want to promise you guys that everything I say in this video is based on my true experience. First of all, I should not have uploaded that video. After I escaped and came back to Korea, I felt freedom, and I went around acting like a crazy dog. And one of the many stupidities I've done, which is the kissing in the club video, surfaced and it went viral. It was my first time feeling attacked publicly. I felt really overwhelmed, and I hurried to make a video exposing my wife in order to defend myself. And even though everything in the video I said was true, as I was heavily criticized, my actions for the 2 months I've been in Korea, me treating the abuse like it's a light subject in the video with the stupid Johnny Depp reference that was dumb, and the culturally insensitive comments I have made the video seem like it was not. And I've been watching the comment section of the video I posted, and I see that my words and actions have caused like a big racial division between the communities. That was not my intention, and I'm so sorry for pushing the stereotypes. I just wanted to say that. So the points I was trying to make was diluted and not taken seriously, and this whole incident has become out of hand. If you see the video, you can see like my eyes rolling and seeing like watching other places. I do have a mild case of Tourette syndrome, which got better. I'm not doing any vocal tick, like making any sounds, but I still like flinch my hand, like look at it like like that. I have a tendency to disguise like any situations that are heavy or hurtful or anything basically negative or sad. I try to act like it's something light or comedic. And that's why if you see me in real life or videos, you can see me smiling and laughing a lot, even in situations that are not funny. That was disrespectful to myself and to you guys, because in all actuality, the things I talked about in the video are not a light topic for me. The scars and trauma that I suffer from this whole thing is not light. I should have not deflected from the fact. And yes, guys, I am very mentally unstable. I act like I'm not, but I am. As a lot of you guys know from her YouTube lives, Instagram lives, and her comments.
Okay, I gotta stop him right there. So if you're mentally unstable, how are we supposed to take this video? Like this, and you guys, like this is just me being honest. Okay. This is up to public opinion. because it's not even just my opinion. It's up to your opinion as well. And for me, it's like, okay, we are aware that you have issues mentally and things like that. And then we also are aware that you know, some of the things that you did on your YouTube channel was fake, right? So we're supposed to take your word over the mentally stable person. That doesn't make sense. And I'm not trying to invalidate people that struggle with, you know, mental illness and things like that, because it's a serious thing. But when you came on here the first time and you deflected and you did all of these extra things, it just now makes us very confused. This is another reason why you shouldn't put your business out here on the internet, because when you do, you expose yourself to so many different opinions and point of views based off of other people's experiences and things like that. So it's very, very confusing to me. People are saying that she is not stable, and I can honestly agree with that as well. So it's just it's hard if you are a Gin and Juice if you are a Gin and Juice fan. I don't know how you guys could even take sides in this. I really don't. I really don't. I don't know how you can even take sides in this. I don't. Because this is very, very hard. It's like it's her word against his word, and it's a lot. So I don't know, you guys. Like I don't know. Like this is hard. But I'm gonna continue to allow him to speak his truth and tell his side of things. But this is a lot. This is a lot.
And she claims that she has a no contact order and a finalized divorce and full custody of the kids. And in her live, she states that she has proper documents and evidence to show that it's true. She does not have any proof of those kind of things like she claims, which is why she has not inserted it in her video, even though she claimed in her lives that she will. She has burnt me in early April, and I left about a week after that. And it has been about 2 months since. She is claiming that she has gotten a divorce without me being notified or summoned to court while we have 2 kids between us. All the while, I am technically a legal resident of the United States because my green card expires in, according to her, and I have never seen my green card in real life, June 20th. And right now it's June 20th, actually. The financial property division would have also been finalized. When she's asked for the proof that she could easily just flash or show once and everything would be good, I would be immediately a liar. She keeps switching the topic, evades directly responding to it, but she does not have any proof of anything that would make what she claims possible. And for those of you who have gone through a divorce process, which probably took months to years, you know that her timeline does not match up.
Haney County Civil, this is Kim. May I help you?
Hi, Kim. My name is Myungjin's son. I live in Idaho, but right now I am in South Korea temporarily. I have a wife that lives in Idaho that says like she has stuff filed against me, like a divorce or like a felony case. I wanted to know if you can like check on that and clarify for me, because I tried to access it from the website, but I had trouble doing so. It said access denied. But I can give you like my social security and everything.
What's your last name?
My last name is S-O-N, son.
S-O-M?
S-O-N, son.
Okay. It's really hard to understand you. So what is your first name?
It's Myungjin, so it's M-Y-O-U-N-G-J-I-N.
Okay. Just a moment. Let me check on something.
Okay.
Don't see anything under your name.
Really? Okay. Is it okay for me if I ask if you can check anything that my wife has filed?
I can check under her name.
Yeah. Do I give you her last name? And then first?
Okay.
Her last name is Cedous. It's Sadu.
And the first name?
Cerose. Cerose.
V as in violin.
Huh?
V as in violin.
No, it's Cerose. So it's Cerose.
Okay. All I have is tickets.
All she has is tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Citations.
okay. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
She only has parking tickets. People are saying this is fake, but this is my thing, y'all. You don't know people. You don't know these people. How are you so sure? And I have to keep it real with you guys. If you just are easily swindled based off of popularity, how? Like I don't know. It's for me. I'm gonna remain unbiased in the situation because I don't know them. I can only go off of what they present to me. So it's hard. It's hard. I don't get how people can take sides in this. Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. This is why you keep your business off the internet. Adriana said that Yoni yesterday on YouTube Live servers admitted that they are not divorced. So she lied? So she's been lying this whole time. I can send you the screen recording. See, this is a mess. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? And the reason why I'm making this known is because you guys, you do not want to ever be easily swindled. You need to be on your P's and your Q's. You can't be easily swindled like that. And if you can be easily swindled like that, you don't need to date, and you need to work on your social skills, because you can't just be siding with somebody. That's how you easily get licked. Be careful. Be careful out here.
I have never stated, even once, that I have never abused Ceros. As you can see from one of the screenshots in her video, I have a very toxic and sarcastic tone while talking, and I cannot control my anger in certain circumstances. That is one of many mental abuse that she had to suffer while being with me. And in my video, I did end up minimizing my faults. I should have been more objective and laid out my wrongs as much as I'm laying out her wrongs, because at the end of the day, what I want is for there to be no lies, for there to be truth out there, and both parties admitting exactly what they did and figure out a way to move on and grow.
To address the situation using chopsticks for torment, Youngjin wanted to try some anal activities.
I never wanted to try anal activities, and if you know me in real life, you know that I would never want anything up my butthole. I know for a fact you guys are going to be in the comments making fun of this, and probably for the entire rest of my life, but I have never consented to her putting the chopsticks in my asshole, and I don't have sexual desires for or want to try anything like that. I have multiple times stated that I don't want it and to please stop, but she forced it in. I was bleeding, and I am ashamed of it. I'm embarrassed of it. I don't want to be addressing this, but I'm trying to address it as much as I can and explain as much as I can.
Gohan literally admits to coercion in a text message. He was exploiting my childhood trauma and used it against me to manipulate me into saying certain things.
I'm going to show you guys the full context of the cacao we had.
This is a mess.
The thing is, before the recorded conversation, we had multiple conversations. One of them was regarding, I picked up that she could not say, I abused you or like I burnt you or anything of that sort. And I have my own beliefs about people changing. There are 5 steps, in my opinion. And the first step to those 5 are admitting what you did wrong or admitting what you want to change. But her not being able to say that I burnt you or I hurt you, I did not think she could change. In my head, it's like, I burnt you, step number 1. Being able to admit it in public. So if somebody asks, like, did you hurt him? Yes, I did. And then you can work on changing and change and then do it for a long time so you can make it into a habit. Then you can successfully say that it's changed. I needed to make sure that her violent tendencies would change before I made the decision to go back to America.
He made me believe that he was returning to the States for weeks. And then 2 days before his visa appointment, he was saying that he was going to back out and that he wasn't going to go at all.
She is saying I have pretended that I wanted to go back to America and rework on the whole relationship and family. And
You guys, okay, I gotta stop for a sec. I'm gonna just say this. He's not changing his story. Okay. That burnt mark, he is like really taking that like to the heart. Now, do you think it's possible that she burned him? Okay. But this is the thing that I need y'all to understand. He could have done everything that her Jamaican friend said that he did, but it doesn't mean that she wasn't retaliating to the abuse that she was experiencing. Have we thought or considered that? Because I think that's something that we would have to consider. Because if somebody is doing something to me, when it comes, this is why toxic relationships are toxic, because it may just be one person doing something and then you become toxic as well, or the relationship becomes toxic as well, because now you're doing things in retaliation to what they are doing to you. It's called reactive abuse. So maybe she became abusive because she was reacting to some of the abuse. That is a thing. So I don't know. Like, this is a very sticky situation. But he's making it seem like he is the complete victim in all of this. And I don't know. It just seems like they both played a hand in the situation.
I actually was. I just needed her to show me signs that she could actually change. So I asked her to say, I burnt you for about an hour. And she was obviously very against it, like, and very afraid that I'm scheming something. At that time, I didn't have any intention to record the call. When I decided to record the call, was persuaded by one of my friends in Korea that what I'm actually going through is gaslighting. I did not recognize that it was gaslighting. I was thinking if I just go back to America and try to get my citizenship and try to rekindle our YouTube career and try to work on the relationship, everything would be fine. But I'm so thankful for that friend for stopping me, because if I had went back to America, I think I would probably be dead or my passport would be burnt or something.
The phone calls are heavily fabricated and edited. He took conversations from multiple phone calls and pieced them together. The mentioning of putting cameras in the house was literally a conversation that I was talking about for the safety of me and my kids.
So she's claiming that it's a recording of a mashup of multiple different phone calls. If you check on my channel, there should be a video uploaded, a full unedited version of the phone call. So go check that out after you watch this video if you want to.
Isn't it a good thing that I cheated? Don't you think that it'll be better for my rap career?
I have never said that, and I've never said anything of that sort. If you listen to rap, you know that the lyrics portray a lot of cheating and drugs and riches and jewels. Still, I have never said anything of that sort, and she's making me out to be, again, someone who left his family so he can live a rapper lifestyle. I do want to give you guys a little bit of insight about our living situation.
Sir, I gotta back her up on this one. Sir, you were seen in a club kissing another woman after you left the US. So I hope he addresses that, because that was on TikTok. We all saw the video. So it kind of did feed into what she said about you know, it would be better for your rap career. It does. So I don't know. That's a tough one there. And when it comes to this part, I kind of am siding with her on that one, because I'm just like, well, you were caught in the club kissing another girl. Just saying.
We went to America on, I believe, June 18th, and on July 17th, we got married. And soon after that, we filed for my green card so I can stay there. Yes, I couldn't get a work authorization up until the next year, March. So for about 6 months, I couldn't get a regular job. Cyril's got 1 job, 2 jobs, and eventually a 3rd job, and did that for like a whole month because there was so much daily living expenses.
Lawyer fees were expensive. We had bills to pay and saving up for a new baby, and money was really tight.
The lawyer fee, the lawyer we hired to help getting my green card, she charged $5,000, and we had to come up with a lot of money in a short amount of time.
He referred to himself as a house slave in some parts of the video. When I met him, he didn't even know how to do his own dishes or laundry, and I had to teach him how to do those things. And with the extensive hours of work that I was doing, yes, he did end up doing a majority of the housework.
So she did work very hard for about 6 months with a job, and with 3 jobs for about 8 months. After we decided to start YouTube, I have done a lot of editing and watching the kids from January to about March. And I'm keep saying March because March is when she quit all 3 jobs and decided to do a Walmart job with me, where I was overnight stalker and she was overnight janitor. We were working in Walmart together for about 3 months, which we quit as soon as our income skyrocketed from about like $2,000 to over $20,000 in a month. We both decided to quit right away. And me expressing that I feel like it was unfair, I do all the housework and all the editing work and the kids, it is that I recognize that for like about the first year, her working was a lot more than what I did. But for the latter 2 years, it's like a little graph where the amount of work I had to take on gradually became bigger while hers went down. And at the end of the graph, which would be like a couple months ago, it would look something like her abuse got really strong. And now she's not just hitting me, she's like burning me and having a knife on my throat and beating me with a metal stick. These harsh stuff happened recently. Like before that, you guys are saying I don't have these scars on my body in general. Before that was just like basic hitting, slapping, hurting me in places where I can cover with clothes. When my face gets bloated and it's obvious that she hit or slapped me a lot, in a couple of days, like 3 days, then it would die down a little, then we would film the YouTube video. Anyways, my point is
Okay. Two things here. So first things first, as a man, I do feel like you should pull majority of the weight in your home. I'm sorry. I don't know how it is over there in Korea, but I do feel like if you are the man of your house, you are the head of your home, you should be pulling majority of the weight. And it should decline for your wife. Like I that part I don't get. Okay. I don't get that part. I don't understand that part, y'all. And I feel like it don't matter what race of man that you're dealing with nowadays. A lot of these men have that mentality. You know, they really expect for women to do a lot, and to keep up with that. You know, and basically when he got with her, she was doing a lot. She was doing the most, okay? And he expected her to keep up with that. That's crazy. See, and to the women that are watching, don't ever play yourself like that. Because when you get into a marriage with a man like that, where you cooking, you cleaning, you birthing his kids, you working, you killing it. Right, but he's used to that. He's gonna become dependent on you doing that. And so if you lighten up your load a little bit, he's going to throw a fit. So when you enter a relationship or a marriage, you need to make sure it's balanced day one. You can't wait until you have 2 kids and you start seeing how hard it is to keep up with all of that. Like, you need to make that known day one. So I don't get him on that part. I don't understand that part. But you guys, when it comes to this abuse, is it possible that she was hitting him? Is it possible? Because he's not backing down on that. He's not backing down on that. Is it possible that maybe she was hitting him? Someone is saying it was in self-defense, but it's like, in what way? Okay, so he's Americanized. And that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get Black women to understand. It's like, yes, I do feel like you should keep your options open. Yes, I do feel like you should date out. Yes, I do feel like you should weigh your options with as many different races of men that are out here. However, a lot of these men are Americanized with this whole modern mentality. So you're going to have to be careful and vet men all the same for that very reason. It just seems like that maybe they were both abusive, y'all. It is a possibility. I've seen some crazy relationships where couples hit each other. So I don't know. But again, it's his word, her word, and then the truth, and then the witnesses that would see certain things, but they didn't even see the whole story or the situation. So it's just like we just caught in the middle.
Is that it was basically a situation where she was literally laying down in bed, just watching TikTok all day, all night. She did come up with the contents for YouTube though, and we did from time to time watch like Netflix. But most of the time, I was editing while doing all the housework and doing all the kids related work. That has been going on for somewhere between a year or two, and I thought it was very unfair. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate her for working those 3 jobs, and that was mainly because she wanted me to stay in America. At that time, wanted to take on more workload. I'm not complaining about that time period. I still stand by the main reason I came back to Korea and left my family. It's not because I wanted to leave the kids and my my wife and my family and live the lifestyle that I wanted. It's not because I thought I could be a famous rapper here in Korea or that
I'm sorry, y'all. That don't even sound right. Why I left my family. That does that sound right to y'all? That don't even sound right. Under no circumstances does that sound right. That don't sound. I left my family. Okay.
could have a better career, nor because I wanted to live doing whatever I want. It was because I couldn't take the physical and emotional abuse I have been suffering for about 3 years. Me and Rose, we got married at a very young age, and she had our children at a very young age. I loved her with all my heart, as she did to me. And I love the kids, and I still want to take care of them. It was actually quite apparent, but I didn't think through how uploading that video would, and exactly how.
Listen, don't get blocked in the chat. We block over here. Okay, because somebody said I'm being biased. I don't know these people to be biased. I'm not a fan, so I don't know them. I'm going off of how I see things. Okay, don't get blocked because I do block over here. Okay, my block game is strong. I be in the gym working out my arm muscle just to make sure I can block the hell out of you if you're getting on my nerves, for real. Okay, so what I wanted to point out is, in my opinion, it does not make sense to leave your family behind under any circumstances. He could have moved out. He could have separated from her. They made $20,000 in a month, and you telling me he couldn't afford to get an apartment? Now, would it have been a luxury apartment? Maybe not. But he couldn't afford an apartment on his own, and they could have went through separation or a separation process. But no, he moved all the way back to Korea. That don't sound right to me. That don't make no sense to me at all. So how is that biased? Please explain to me. How are you going to take care of your family or your children in Korea when they are in America? Make that make sense. That don't make sense to me. So that's just me being honest. That don't make sense. He could have gotten his own place and they could have started co-parenting until they work things out. You moving all the way to Korea, how are you working on being a co-parent and trying to figure out your relationship with your wife? This ain't a girlfriend, boyfriend type relationship. Come on. No. Mm-mm.
How it would affect the people I care for. And it's completely my fault and my blame that I rushed and uploaded a video that created so much pain for so many different people. Sarah was watching that video would have obviously thought I was attacking her, that it would damage her reputation. And like I assumed, uploaded a video explaining that my video is cooked up lies and that I am the manipulator, aggressor, and the abuser in the situation. And unlike what most of you guys think, it is actually her that is making up lies and manipulating the crowd. And regardless of the truth and what actually happened, I know I do seem like a selfish narcissist for not thinking about the kids and how it would affect them when they see it and spilling tea that
I don't think it's cooked up lies. It may be, it may not be, but I hear cooked up excuses. Okay, cooked up excuses because I don't know these people. So I hear a bunch of excuses from him. We're talking about a man We're not talking about a little boy. We're talking about a man. I hear a bunch of cooked up excuses because his actions don't make sense to me as a man. It just does not make sense. You were man enough to get married. You were man enough to have kids, right? So this is not showing me that your actions from this trauma that you experienced, it wasn't giving me I'm a man. Is giving me I ran from my responsibilities.
Should be kept within the family in private. And I agree that uploading that video and me making this video right now, might not be the best course of action and is wrong. It is wrong and I'm ashamed of it. I could have reacted differently to how Saros treated me and to the gaslighting she did. I easily could have made a situation where the outcome isn't this devastating for anybody, but I made so much excuses for myself just because I felt a little powerless and didn't want to navigate my new environment in the foreign country that I'm supposed to start living in. I let the situation get worse. I escaped. And I made a rash decision by uploading the video just to protect my reputation, just to prove that I think there's a good enough reason for me giving up on the marriage, our relationship, and what we basically have built. However, in this particular situation where she made a video filled with factual truth, her perspective of a situation, and lies, please understand that I am making this video in order to protect myself from being wrongfully painted an image of a deadbeat dad that gave up on his own kids and family, and an abuser that couldn't overcome his own traumas and is evil enough to ruin the life of his own family. I just want to strongly emphasize that there's no correlation between how I live my private life in Korea and why our marriage was ruined. It is not that I came to Korea to ditch the family and hang around with women. It's that I escaped domestic abuse. And then when I got to Korea, I started being very unfaithful and then went around very immaturely. I completely understand why me going clubbing, flirting around with different women, cheating while I'm a father of two was wrong. But unlike her claim, I never wanted to be out of their lives, nor not partake in their growth.
Gohan has made it clear that not only is he unfit, but he just doesn't care about these children. His best interests came first.
That's what it seemed like.
She has lied about Savon being sick multiple times to get me to come back when I ran from home because she was physically abusing me. When I came back to make sure that our kids were okay, because she was claiming that they are very sick and they're throwing up and everything, they weren't, and she would fuck me up that night. She's using a completely unrelated Kakao screenshot and claims that is how I responded to our own kids being sick. This is the actual response I gave to when she told me that Savon was sick and in the hospital.
Okay, when it comes to the situation with the kid, I believe him on this one. You know, maybe she was using the child to be manipulative to get him to come back home. Women do it all the time. But she wanted you home though, because you abandoned her. So I'm pretty sure she was using every little trick in her sleeve to get you to come back. Because you abandoned your family. So I'm not saying what she did was right. I'm not. But I can understand why she did it though. You know, it is manipulative, but you abandoned them. So I mean, she probably did use that as an excuse to try to get you to come back. I mean, you did just left them. I don't understand. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I do believe that she did do that, but it doesn't make her a bad mother. No, to me, the only thing that I would like to ask her is why she did that. Was it because she was trying to get their father to get back, or she was trying to get him to come back so he could be a father, or was she doing it for her own selfish reasons? I don't know, but I mean, I could kind of understand why she did it. I mean, your husband abandoned you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do you're probably gonna be desperate, wanting this person to come back by any means necessary, honestly, especially if they abandoned you and went to a whole different country. That's crazy. And just left you and your kids.
I have multiple times told Saros that I don't want to be a biological father that doesn't see them and just pays child support. I do understand what it could mean what could happen to the kids' growth if the father is not present physically and there to guide them.
She wants to paint an image of me not wanting to partake in raising the kids, as if I said your mom raised 4, so you can easily raise 2 on your own. The actual context of that screenshot is that before I decided to upload a video exposing her, I wanted her to continue uploading videos on our channel so that she can take financial advantage of our channel and use it so that her and the kids are financially secure. I was angry that she kept making excuses when I know for a fact that even when I'm not present there, most of the time she's not watching the kids. Her mom Ozette and her brother Gerson is watching the kids.
And then he said, why do we have to let them ruin our lives? He said, why do we have to let them hold us back from having some fun?
I have said that before, and I did insist on, hey, let's just take the kids to the party. Why do we have to not be in the party and just go back home? Because their mom's not going to watch them. Why don't we just go to the party with them? Yes, I have. And that it was wrong. It was very wrong, because a party, as you would assume, would have a lot of things going on. That's
Sir, this don't look good. Okay. Now let's put the pieces together so far. Okay. He admitted to the video that was surfacing on TikTok that was him. He admitted that he was out here cheating and running around once he got to Korea. And he stood up here and just admitted to the fact that he did say that about his own children. And then we have a third party in the mix. Okay, the Jamaican woman that came out and said that he acted that way towards them as well. So you want me to believe that you ran off to Korea to escape abuse? Sir, I can't. And one thing I don't like is to be bullshitted. I don't like that. Because now I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. Because I'm putting all the pieces together. So you just admitted all of those things, and it's just like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because it actually gives you reason as to why you ran to Korea instead of getting your own place so that you could be close by to still take care of your responsibilities as a man. So I'm just saying.
It's not suited for children. So that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. As you guys know, I am fairly fluent in English, but I do lack real-life experiences and know-hows, especially of the life in America. Throughout the green card process, I had to deal with organizations like the USCIS, which I couldn't, well, it's also an excuse, but I, at the time, said I couldn't handle by myself, and I got a lot of help from Soros regarding that. I was dependent on her, not because I lacked communication skills, but because I was illiterate about how laws and systems and processes are in America. I have constantly appealed to her that I want to be an active father in their lives, even after I escaped. And before, when we were still together, we had multiple talks about how if we became not to be together, I still want to be active in their lives. Although I did come to the conclusion that I cannot be with Soros, that doesn't mean that I don't want to be their father. And I'm going to try my best to claim my rights as one. Regarding my father abusing me, it's true that I had an in-depth conversation with 2 new friends at the time about my past trauma and how he hit me. Not just with them too. I opened up a lot about this with Soros too, but it was definitely blown out of proportion, just so she can use it as a believable excuse that I would inflict the things I claim she did on myself. It hurts me. That memory will not go away for the rest of my life. When my dad came to America for the first time in our lives, we had an in-depth conversation about the abuse. There was so much misunderstanding and backstory to what had happened. I still think it is wrong what he did to me. I'm saying first time in my life for so much, but it's really because it was the first time in my life. I saw him cry while he was apologizing to me, and I could feel that it was genuine and he had lots of regrets about it. Thus, we started working on our relationship. So anyways, yes, it did happen, but it is not the intensity Soros is making it out to be. For specifically physical abuse, it has happened one time in my life when I was in middle school. Like I think middle school, first grade, like 7th grader. And I have never been admitted to any mental hospital because of my dad. I have gotten treatments from a mental hospital before when I was in middle school because I wanted to cure my tic. So I got a couple medications at that time. But aside from that, no. And even it is very hard for me to talk about this and stuff regarding my dad because we are currently working on our relationship and trying to build something. It might affect that negatively. I promise that I will not lie to you in this video and everything is based on truth. And by me saying based on truth, it means I want to include distorted, over exaggerated, or out of context information. Me giving you context about what exactly happened is one of my intentions of this video. So not everybody grows up with something physical like this. But for those of you who have experienced something between education and abuse, that was my case. And me back in puberty did not take it well. But my dad was never the reason I started hurting myself or banging my head onto the wall. It's true that I physically hit her first because according to her, her slapping me around and stuff like that, which came first, and you can check the very first video Jin and Juice uploaded where I talk about
I should have been a lawyer, y'all. I should have been a lawyer. I should have been a lawyer. Sir, you just admitted to hitting her first. Now listen. Now the knife and the burn mark, all of that's starting to sound like self-defense to me. That's what's starting to sound like. Because you can't hit somebody and then not feel like they shouldn't react. And how they react, you know, you can't always control that. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That don't sound right to me. That don't sound right to me. Reactive abuse is still abuse though, y'all. This is why you should keep your hands to yourself. But if you hit her first, that's self-defense. And you just admitted that on camera. So that don't make no sense to me. And that's not me. This is not me taking sides. That don't make sense. I'm like, well, if you hitting her first and then she reacts, that's self-defense. Now, if you are being emotionally abusive towards her and then she hits you or she burns you or something like that, that is reactive abuse, and reactive abuse is still abuse. But if you're hitting her first, that's self-defense. So I don't know, y'all.
How I don't like her slapping me around. If you don't say that's physical abuse, then I did abuse her first while I was drunk. I claimed that I don't remember that it happened, which I actually do not because I was passed out while drunk. When we woke up and she told me what happened, I said, you probably deserved it. I said that because I felt like it was unfair for her, you know, like slapping me around, claiming it's a joke. And even if I tell her that like I don't like it, she continued to do it. Me saying that she probably deserved it in that situation, it was wrong. And I was a coward for not taking responsibility for my actions and blaming it on something else and running away from it like I always do. I should have never said that, and I am sorry, Zeros, that I hit you and that I said that, and I know how much it fucking hurt you. I do understand how hurtful it was. She doesn't cry in front of me because she thinks it's a sign of weakness. Whenever she cries, she would go to the bathroom and cry alone. But in that situation, she blasted out tears, and I know it fucking hurt her. She is using the screenshot out of context to make it seem like I was just tired of the marriage, where the full context of it is me explaining how I don't think I can be with her. At the very top, it says, you will get tired. That's how human body works. Above that, she cut it out, but it says, like, please come back and sleep. And I say, come back. I'm sorry, I'll let you slap me. I'll bang my head onto the wall. It's a situation where she left the house with her car in the middle of the night. I was worried about, there's a lot of situations where she takes the car in the middle of the night and goes to her mom's house when we have a conversation and something upsets her. This night is one of the situations where, for the first time in my life, I have called cops on Saros. I usually don't because I know how she might get treated by cops in Idaho while she's a black woman, like not like a black person. So I don't call the cops usually, but this was a very specific situation where she went out, didn't come back for hours. We were on a phone call for hours, and she was saying like, I'm somewhere, I took some drugs and I'm getting sleepy and I want to die. So I was really worried. So I did call the cops for the first time in America. They came and I asked them to search like wherever. I have no idea where she is. Please track her phone or something. I think Cyril's either woke up or never fell asleep. And she came back on her own accord and said, if you tell the cops to leave, I'll come back home. Like, I see you guys. And I told the cops to leave. I think she's here and she will come back inside home to safety. And the cops said we cannot leave until we have confirmed the safety of that woman. But after I showed the text that like I am safe and I will come back, I just can't deal with the cops. The cops left, and then she came back home and we went to sleep in the morning. I was very scared that night because Cyril's detests drugs usually. I was very shocked to hear that she, out of anybody, did drugs. She fell asleep and she was having little seizures that she doesn't recall and claims she has never done. But I was watching her have seizures like that. Only she was like that. Anyways, that's the context.
Okay, so this is the full context of that screenshot. There was a time where I was talking to a girl in the party, and she was talking to a guy in the party, and we were all within listening distance in the same table. Later on, there was another gathering, and I forgot to check my phone and let her know that like our house is here, and then she had to go back home. And I was like, I am so sorry. And that girl said, how are you going to make up for it? So Rose often checks my phone, and she saw that DM saying, why is she coming on to you? Why is she like trying to flirt with you? I said, I don't know. I just said, I'm sorry for standing her up outside for such a long time. She said, I cheated because whatever it is that I actually did, if a girl was comfortable enough to try to come on to a man with a partner, the guy must have did something to let her feel like she can. We were in another extensive argument, and I get tired of her not listening. And I say, if we didn't fuck, I didn't fucking cheat out of anger. I know it's ridiculous, guys. It's not that I actually think unless you actually have sexual intercourse, it's not cheating. No, I think kissing is cheating, holding hands is cheating, hugging, if not with the right intentions, is cheating. I do think that if you flirt with somebody or enjoy sexual tension while just even talking, I do believe they're all actually cheating. It was toxic. I do.
Sir, would we even know about your cheating ways if you wasn't caught on TikTok? And you want me to believe that prior to you being caught on TikTok that you wasn't cheating? Nah, I'm not buying that one. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not. I don't think you waited until you got to Korea to cheat. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't believe that. Because if you bold enough to cheat, that means you're comfortable with it. So I don't believe that you waited all the way until you got back to Korea to cheat, because you were already fed up in the situation. You already had your foot out the door. This whole video is about how you had your foot out the door, and you want me to believe that you waited until you got to Korea to cheat for the first time. I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. This is why men, they know when they dealing with me, you got to come correct, because I ain't no fool. You want me to believe that this entire live is about you having your foot out the door and how fed up and tired you were. I'm pretty sure you turned to somebody to cry on their shoulder or to comfort you in need. And it may have been cheating. It's just, it is what it is. This is crazy. This is too much. This is absolutely insane. I couldn't imagine going through all of this and still upload videos on YouTube. Because when my life ain't together, I'm out. I'm out. I can't show up on here and fake it. I got to get myself together. I'll be back though, because this is too much.
Admit that for saying it's not sex, it's not cheating, but it's not that I actually think that. I was just really tired of the whole situation. We've had multiple arguments about me cheating. For example, I've cheated by replying to a DM that said, I love your family and your videos, with a heart emoji. She said I was giving this girl unnecessary affection and I was letting them think that they have a chance. And there are multiple instances where we fight about this and her keeping the same logic. Once, after arguing that I did not cheat, and she said I did for hours, I just said, you're right, because I wanted to go to sleep. And she slapped me as hard as she can. And then I got mad and I kicked the door as hard as I can. She punched me in the guts as hard as she can. So I punched the door as hard as I can. So yeah, that's how the door got wrecked.
I want to man up about this whole cheating thing. The video of me kissing another girl in the club is not the only flirting/cheating that I have done in Korea. I swear that I've never cheated while I was with her in America, and I never have even held hands with another woman. I would look at the ground when another lady passes by. I do admit that I flirted multiple times in Korea, and this information is what a lot of my friends didn't want me to talk about and be honest about, because nobody asked, and it will for sure put me in a bad spot. But I want to be objective as possible and admit any wrongdoings I have done, because the purpose of this video is I am trying to be overtly honest so that like the future me can grow and learn and actually become a better person. I know that admitting and owning up to my mistakes and behavior that I want to change is one of many steps. The first of, to me, 5 steps I need to take in order to actually change. Going through this whole thing, I honestly don't think justice and the truth always prevails, although it would be nice if it did. And honestly, I feel like most people aren't listening to my voice or cry of help, but I told myself, even if it feels like nobody's listening to my voice, I should not give up and I should stand my ground and tell my truth until the end. And so the narrative she is pushing to cover up for the violence that she has caused on me, her main claim is that I was going psycho due to the PTSD that my dad caused on me. I did show self-harming behavior multiple times while living in America, but it was not because of my dad's abuse, it was because of Sarose's abuse. I was slowly falling apart and mentally I was breaking down. After watching Sarose's video, I felt genuinely shocked because...
Y'all, I solved it. Okay. Let me get this correct. Okay. So he has this PTSD self-harming issue, right? And over the course of their relationship, right, he showed that behavior. Then he started to hit her first. Okay. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you keep hitting me, I'm gonna hit you back. So she probably started hitting him back in self-defense, right? And then that started to trigger his past trauma. And then I'm pretty sure him hitting her triggered her trauma, okay, which caused and created this toxic relationship. But no one had the brain to leave the situation, to separate and go your separate ways. This is toxic, for real. But he is the root cause of it, though. He is, because it's just like, sir, if you know you have these issues, go take care of yourself. You know, this type of stuff, it happens. It's life. It happens. So go take care of yourself. But instead of taking care of yourself, you decided to put your hands on your wife. She decided to react to the abuse that she was enduring, right? And your children are seeing all of this. This is crazy. So he cheated too. The only thing that I can say Saros needs to take accountability in is she should have left sooner. She should have left at the first sight at this man self-harming himself. Because I tell y'all all the time, if a man starts throwing stuff and he hits himself or he starts punching walls and things like that, it's only a matter of time before you become that door or you become or they start hitting you. So it's just best that you leave at the first sight or sign that they are self-harming or hitting doors or throwing things, because eventually they're going to start throwing those things at you. They're going to start throwing those punches at you. So my thing is, what was the point of this video? I don't understand the point of this video, because really, he admitted to everything that she said. Am I the only one that's not? He admitted to everything that she said. He hit her first. He has self-harm issues. I don't get it. I mean, he just validated everything that she said in her video. I mean, the other things are just like text messages and things being taken out of context and stuff like that. But I mean, like, for the most part, he admitted to everything that she said in her video. Y'all, I'm confused. I don't know. Because when you connect the dots, it's like, okay, you have this issue. Then you started hitting her because she was reacting to the abuse that you were doing to her. And so that's self-defense. I'm confused. I'm very confused on this one, y'all. I'm sorry. It don't make sense.
Honestly, I felt like she was very cunning to mix truth with lies and make a flawless story that connects and is believable. I do not possess the talents she has. She is beautiful. She has talent. She has charisma, and she has emotional persuasion. She is a natural-born star, and I can admit to that, and I can attest to that while I've watching that for years. She is obviously a better rapper than me. I love rap music because it helped me get through hard times in my life, starting from the first year of high school. At the same time, do understand that hip-hop is from and for Black people. I am not Black, nor am I trying to be. While I am indulging in the culture and trying to be a part of it, I do recognize that I am a visitor, and I know that I am nowhere close to a good rapper as of now. Like it feels weird saying this, but she is hip hop. So how can I say I'm a better rapper than her? I've never claimed so. Just for your information, I have never hurt myself. Like it just includes like slapping myself, hitting myself, or like cut myself. But no, I did not do any of those things before I met Sir Rose. After I met Sir Rose, it started. Some person said, and I think one of the comments, that usually when you're a self-harming person, like chronically, then you would have like knife scars on your wrist because that's so normal for people. I don't know if you guys can see. I do not have any scars of that sort. I don't know how to explain this. I think everybody's skin is different, but if you look closely into the scar, there is one long mark here, one medium mark here, one short mark here, and it creates and it is a burn mark that was inflicted on me, and it has been about 2 months since. But it's been looking like this even a month ago. I was just assuming that it's a 2nd degree burn because I never had to take off more than like 3 or 4 times scabs in one place. So I just assumed that it's a 2nd degree burn. It might not be 2nd degree, it might be 1st degree. Anyways, yeah, I just showed you my wrist. I started hitting myself with like a metal water bottle she has bought for me. I started doing this whenever I felt like I wasn't, basically this sounds funny, but I wasn't being treated as a human. I would bang my head onto the wall when I feel like I am not being listened to, or if I felt like I am not entitled to have an opinion. I have also banged my head onto the mailbox, and I have slapped myself. The thing about this is I have never done it when I was alone. I don't feel the need to do it when I'm alone. I do it when I'm wanting to express something, but I don't feel like the current me and how I'm handling things can. Then I self-harm in front of, and there has to be people, and the more people there are, the more irrational action I would do, like banging my head onto the mailbox.
Yo, did the man say he didn't hurt himself, or he didn't hurt himself before? Am I crazy? Like for real. I'm asking, and I'm not taking sides. First he said he did harm himself, and then he said he didn't. He said it all in one video.
I was very stressed out from her manipulation. I was also often reminded how alone I was in a foreign country. Like, no people actually supporting me, or I'm not allowed to have personal relationships. Like, it's not like she would say, hey, you're not allowed to have personal relationships. She would say, you can have friends. You can go hang out and play soccer and do this and that. She would just give me a workload, which kind of means I don't have free time to hang out with any friends. I felt very void and isolated from the very depth of my heart a lot of the times, and I would resort to self-harming in front of her usually. I worked so hard on not letting my sanity loose, like go. I would hurt myself when I felt like I'm feeling unusually violent. Then I would inflict it on myself because I don't want to cause harm to other people. Yes, I would break stuff. She claims that my brother and my family doesn't care how the kids are affected in this whole situation, when what he said was nothing like that. Here's a screenshot of her apologizing for bringing them into the mud and accusing them wrongfully, and that she will take responsibility and clarify, which she didn't. And my family is going through a lot of mental pain.
Across different cultures, there are different things that are seen as respectful or disrespectful. And my mom had mentioned something that he did that rubbed her the wrong way, and she wanted me to speak to him about it. And I didn't want to embarrass him in front of everybody, so I told him, let's go get some napkins. We got in the car, and I began the conversation. And at first he looked annoyed, but then he kind of just gave me this dead look in his eyes, and it scared me. He had a hydro flask in his hand and started repeatedly banging it on his head. I was shocked and tried to get him to stop. He jumped out of the car and ran back towards my mom's house, so I followed suit. Once he was inside, he made homicidal threats to everyone and made suicidal threats as well. He ran upstairs, and I again followed him, trying to figure out what was going on. He was in our room packing a bag, and I asked him, babe, what's wrong? What did I do? And he came at me and said, get the fuck out of my way. And I said, talk to me. And he began repeatedly banging his head on the wall, so I immediately got out of his way. He ran downstairs and outside, and I had some family members that tried to catch him and try to get him to calm down. He became even more upset and hit his head on the mailbox and then proceeded to run away. Another family member suggested that we call the police based on the fact that he had made suicidal comments and banged his head on a variety of pretty hard objects and was afraid that he might have a concussion and could pass out anywhere. So the police were called, he was found and arrested. He was put on overnight suicide watch, and the following day he was transferred to a psych ward for a mental health evaluation. It's a 72-hour mandatory hold. I was 5 or 6 months pregnant at the time, and I was scared and worried for my husband.
So this is her perspective of this matter. I'll give you my perspective, right? So she is pregnant with Saban in her tummy, and we are living in her mom's house. I wasn't happy with living in that house because I felt like the her mom was being unfair to me. For example, she had a new husband, and there's a couch where he lays on the couch and puts his head on one end and puts his foot on the other end. And I would do this, be in the same position sometimes, and she would see it and say, "How dare you put your foot on where David's head lies?" So I said, "David has his foot on like where my head lies too. You are the head of the..."
Yeah, but sir, you don't pay bills there. Okay. Now, everybody, I don't know about y'all, but in Black culture, you don't just put your feet up like that on people's furniture and stuff like that, and you don't pay bills there, sir. Just like Asians or Koreans, y'all have cultural expectations and things like that. So do we. That's rude. That's disrespectful. You don't pay bills there. That ain't your home. That's not your house. This is crazy. So are you saying that Black people don't have cultural expectations, or you're not supposed to respect other people's spaces? I mean, you're a guest there. You may be living there temporarily, but you're still a guest. I wouldn't even go and do something like that. That's crazy.
The house and you're the owner of the property that I live in. So if you say no, I won't do it. But you do have to admit that it's not necessarily fair. Like there's a lot of things that aren't fair. Some of these things would be like, I just came to America on June 18th, and it's been about 2 months I started living with her. That's when me and her mom kind of peaks with problems. So Rose would put my immigration document somewhere and her mom would put it somewhere else because she organizes differently all the time. I think it's one of her hobbies to clean and organize things. The thing is, she doesn't remember where shit goes, right? So she puts my immigration paper somewhere else and we can't find it when we need it. Me and Rose are both mad at her, saying like, if it's not yours, like why move it? And then she says, if it's yours, take care of it. Me and...
Oh my goodness. Oh, y'all, no. What y'all got me watching? What y'all got me invested? I'm invested now. What y'all got me watching? It sounds like y'all needed your own place. And yeah, if I'm her mother and I got a grown man living up under my roof not paying bills, yeah, I'm gonna be irritated. Yeah, I am. And then this is crazy. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. And then this whole time he didn't have no job, and you don't think her mom gonna be a little irritated?
In her, after that fight, there's something in the Haitian culture, which they are all Haitian, that you have to say.
She Haitian? See, you should have led with that. She's Haitian? And you went over there and put your feet up on the couch like that? He was tripping.
Yeah, hi. Even if you live in the same house, I don't know if it's an elder thing or it's just a family thing, but you say hi. I would not say hi to her mom, Ozette, but I would say hi to her new husband, David. It would be awkward kind of for me to vocalize saying hi to him, but when she's next to him, not say hi to her. I would just give him a glance to say, and he would glance back, and we know that we greeted each other. And she calls Saros while Saros is pregnant and working and says, tell your husband it's very disrespectful he's not saying hi to David. Saros calls me and says, why are you being disrespectful to David? So I said, what do you mean? She said, you gotta say hi. I say hi to David multiple times every single day, and you can ask David and confirm it for yourself. And then she confirms it, and David said, yeah, he says hi to me a lot. A lot of you guys are getting this confused that my grandmas, I have a lot of grandmas and a lot of people who are doctors in their family and businessmen in the family, they are rich, without a doubt. My mom and dad, you can't really say they're rich. They're not rich. And my mom, when I told her that we're financially struggling, she sent me about 50만 원, which is like $400 something every month out of her own pocket. After she pays for her stuff, we would pay $300 out of that to Saros's mom because it's like renting, right? I had a problem with that, which now thinking back, I wouldn't, because it's so normal to pay rents where you stay, obviously. But at that time, I couldn't even think of the concept of a parent making a daughter or her husband pay rent for living in their place, because we would fight about it all the time. I would be like, my mom has to fucking break her back for these $300, and you want to just take it from us while we have so much financial burdens that now Sarah's going to have to take 3 jobs. And she would be like, well, if I take you out right now, do you think there's any place you can get for something cheaper than what I'm asking you to give me? Of course not. $300 is ridiculously cheap for rent. And she would not let me go outside. I would be like, hey, I called her mom instead of that. I said, Mom, can I go out and play in the pool for a little bit? She would say, no, you can't, because you're living under my roof. You can't like walk places because it's dangerous. it's America, it's not Korea. Anyways, there's a lot of beef with me and her mom. And so Rosa's position in that matter was, I want you to just do everything my mom says because I'm working and you are not working and I have a fucking baby in my stomach and I can't be getting more stressed than what I am getting right now. So for me, please, even if it's unfair or not right, even if you think that, appease her and do whatever she wants. And I thought that was ridiculous. We were in a car and I was holding a water bottle. The conversation went on for hours. One thing about Rose is that if you do not agree with her opinion, like you have to agree with her opinion. Like she says, I think you should just calm it down a notch in front of my mom and live according to what she wants. And I say, I don't think.
Not a grown man expecting to stay somewhere for free with a woman that he got pregnant. I know her mom was irritated. I'm 1,000% sure she was irritated. This is crazy. A grown man living up under your roof, not working, being rude, putting his feet up all on your furniture and stuff like that. Oh my good. No wonder him and the mother didn't get along. I don't blame her. I would have been irritated too, sucking up my air conditioner. You know how Black people are, eating up my food. And then my daughter then got herself into a sticky situation. Pregnant, working 3 jobs, and this man staying up under my roof.
I think that's fair. Just because we're in a tight spot doesn't mean I should follow her every little command. Later on, I would be tired of the conversation and be like, okay, I'll just do whatever she wants. And then because I didn't agree with her opinion at the beginning, she would be like, then why did you say that earlier that you don't want to? I said that because I thought it wasn't right. And she would be like, I told you to take it down a notch because I'm pregnant with your baby and I'm getting stressed. You weren't thinking for me. Why do you now change your mind and say that you will do what I tell you to do? And it's like at this point I'm getting driven crazy. Like it feels like whenever I have an opinion that's not her opinion, it becomes very stressful for me. It feels like I'm not allowed to have an opinion and I'm not entitled to one. These are like main stuff when I started self-harming. I started doing this to myself with like the water bottle. I even like threw it outside the window. And then at this point, I'm like, I can't take it no more. Like, please end the conversation for me, or we can have it pick it up at a later time. Like, I cannot be having this conversation with you right now because I'm literally going crazy.
I gotta stop him again. Another thing that I want to point out, I noticed something. Every time he admits to self-harming himself, which just a few minutes ago, I hope y'all keeping up with this. He said he didn't hit himself. Now he's saying he does. Okay? I noticed that whenever he admits to self-harm, it's always when he does not get his way. Y'all notice that? Y'all notice that? Every time he admits that he self-harms, it's always when he doesn't get his way. Just saying. It's always when he does not get his way.
And then she calls her brothers to the house. Everybody's downstairs while I'm avoiding her. So when she's downstairs, I'm trying to go upstairs so I can have some time alone. And she follows me upstairs saying, like, why are you evading the conversation? When she follows me upstairs, I go downstairs and it repeats and I go kind of crazy. I bang my head onto the wall. And I'm like, I can't stay in this fucking house because I feel like I'm going insane. I try to run outside and she tries to kind of stop me, but I kind of like do this. And then I went in front of the fucking mailbox. I started banging my head like 3 times and then I ran off. One thing about our relationship was that we had an agreement that I quit cigarettes and smoking in general. And I agreed, thinking it wouldn't be that hard to quit, but I was already too heavily addicted. I had trouble just quitting. So the first thing I did was run to Stinkers. It's a gas station. So I bought cigarettes and a lighter and I was smoking one. The cops came, are you like my Young Jin? And I'm like, yes, I'm Young Jin. Well, finish your cigarette and we'll apprehend you to the car. There was multiple cops. There's multiple cars and there was multiple cops. A Hispanic lady officer took me to a nearby hospital called St. Luke's where I got my head checked to see if there's any damage done to my head or brain because I was banging my head onto the wall, right? And then I'm being taken to a psychiatric hospital called Cottonwood Creeks. There they explained to me that I am placed under a 72-hour mandatory hold, which even if Rose doesn't want it and wants to cancel it, or even if I don't want it, there's no choice. I am mandatorily going to be there getting treatment for 72 hours while doctors evaluate me. If they feel like I'm fit to get out, they let me go after 72 hours. But if you're not fit to get out, they can hold you as long as they think is necessary. I have made a friend there that was there for like a month. 72 hours later, I'm out. She probably does have like a Cottonwood Creek record of me being admitted to like that place. I asked the Hispanic female officer, one of the reasons I banged my head onto the wall today is because of financial issues, because because we're struggling so much. Can you promise me that like we wouldn't have to pay anything out of our pockets to get the head checked and go to a psychiatric evaluation? And she promised that you guys won't have to pay anything out of the pocket. It will be charged over to our Meridian Police Department. After I got out of the thing, we got charged for a $3,000 bill for checking my head with some machines. I called the Meridian cops multiple times and stated that police officer's name multiple times and explained the situation multiple times. They would just keep saying that Lady D is not on duty right now. It didn't matter if I called in the morning, dinner time, or whatever. They would keep saying she's not on duty for days. And we eventually just gave up and said, fuck it. Like we'll have to pay. We fought a lot. Me and Zeros fought a lot more because finances was one of our biggest demons that haunted us. All we was thinking about was how are we going to save up money? How are we going to get our own place? How are we going to afford Savant's formula? How are we going to make this even work? Do we have to get a loan? Like, she also claims that I said I threatened everybody in the house to kill them and to kill myself. It was in Korean. I said, which does technically mean that I will kill, but I want to explain that that doesn't mean what it means when you say it in English. Like if you say I will kill somebody, then people are going to take it as you, at least you're feeling like you want to kill somebody. 죽여버릴까 is such a common thing. People say like, 진짜 죽을까? Or like, 진짜 죽여버리고 싶다. That is a complete misunderstanding. 죽여버릴까 does not mean I'm actually threatening everybody in the place.
In November of 2020, when I was a couple months pregnant with Sphere, it was Thanksgiving morning, and Gohan and I had woken up early to be in the kitchen to make our contribution. We were in the kitchen all morning because the house was soon to be flooded with a whole bunch of people. I told my mom I needed a nap.
This is wild. This is, he could have saved this video. This video did not help him at all. At all. Like, this did not help him at all. Like, what do you mean? You said it, though. You said it, and then you said it in your language because you didn't want people to know or to understand what you were saying.
And I was going to head upstairs, and she asked Gohan to continue to help her to set up before the guests arrived. He followed me upstairs and said, if you're going to sleep, I'm going to sleep too. And I was like, can you please go help my mom? She asked for your help, and I said that you could join me afterwards. And he was like, no. If I can't go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. You think just because you're pregnant, you get special treatment? I'm tired too. I got in bed and I tried to ignore him.
I believe he said this too and treated her like this too.
Pinching me and trying to do anything to get me to wake up. I blocked it all out until he slapped me. I immediately got up because I was so angry and I started yelling. And my older brother walked into the room and tried to break it up. They separated me and put me in another room. And I called one of my other brothers, and I was hysterical. And he was, of course, angry. And he came over and he did slap Myeongjin. And I really hate this narrative that is going on about angry Black people because in a majority of these situations, Gohan was always the aggressor.
So that is her perspective and her view on that situation, the Thanksgiving. My point of view, so yes, we basically did both help her mom cook Thanksgiving food because there was going to be a lot of guests coming over. So we both helped her. We came early in the morning to help her, but that night we did not sleep. It was one of those nights where if we had an argument, which we did, we would not be able to sleep because she doesn't want to end the conversation. So we're both tired and we're both kind of going crazy. So Rose wanted to take a nap while I continue helping mom with the food work. And for me, it was very apparent in my head that if Rose sleeps right now and takes a nap for a couple hours while I'm helping her, while I haven't had any sleep, when she wakes up, the thing is she does not let me sleep while she's awake. She's going to have had a couple hours of sleep while I didn't, but I am also going crazy. I thought I was going crazy because of lack of sleep. I wanted to sleep with her. So I usually wouldn't do this out of either fear because I generally don't like beef. I was crazy enough to not let her sleep. I kept poking her arms. Unlike what she said, I did not slap her while she was trying to sleep. I did this. And this is, yes, it's crazy and it could be emotional abuse. It is emotional abuse. And
no, that's physical abuse. If you're doing this aggressively to someone's face, that is hitting them. Oh my, y'all, is this real? She's pregnant. Like, she's supposed to sleep. Are you serious? And she's in a toxic relationship, so she's gonna be tired. This is No. Like, and let me also, I have to get this out. This whole video, he has proven how lazy he is. So of course he felt entitled to sleep when she was sleeping. Of course you did. You're lazy. You're lazy. You are lazy. You don't want to work. You don't want to contribute. Because I'm sure if Rose's mom had a man living in her home and he was contributing around the house because he couldn't work because he didn't have his green card, right? She would have been a little more kinder to you. But you was just sitting around, bumming around, being lazy. This whole live stream, he has basically admitted how lazy he is. You a grown man out here making grown decisions. Talking about, I need to sleep. And then ain't done nothing. Ain't bust a grape. Ain't bust a grape. You ain't done nothing. You ain't bust a grape. You tired from an argument that you had last night and you didn't get enough sleep? Are you serious? Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
It might be physical abuse. Yes, I should have not done that to her so that she couldn't sleep, but she kind of went crazy. She suddenly got up and then went downstairs screaming, Gohan fucking hit me. He fucking slapped me. In that situation, her mom was there, her stepdad was there, our kids were there, her eldest brother were there, even her second brother and her little brother came. So when she was screaming that, her little brother heard that I slapped her, and without giving me any time to explain the situation, which is that I didn't actually slap her, I did prevent her from trying to sleep. He flew over and slapped me and pulled out a butterfly knife or something, whatever you call that. Her second brother, Justin, had to body block him. He pulled out a knife and kept trying to run towards me and stab me. At that time, I was very scared of her little brother because he had not too long ago told me about his a few mischievous actions that he had done and showed me his pistol. So after the whole situation is over, the little brother called me over to his room that which he was staying at that time and explained to me that, hey, Justin and guess what? They explained to me that no.
He got a really Black women, please vet, please. Because he's trying to paint her out to be something. Then now he's trying to paint her brother out to be something. What does him showing you that he got a pistol, what does that have to do with anything? Are you trying to say that he's a criminal? In America, we have gun laws where we can carry. So what are you talking about? It's normal to carry a gun around in the US. So what are you trying to hint at? Ooh, you lucky it wasn't my brother. That's all I'm gonna say. You lucky it wasn't my brothers. You lucky it wasn't them, because they would have done more than they probably. That's all I'm gonna say. You lucky it was not my brothers, because ain't no way you wouldn't have walked out of there walking for real. Because this is crazy. Like, what are you hinting at?
Gohan, he probably didn't actually hit Zeros. I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have accepted his apology if I did have any speck of respect for myself, but I accepted it.
In the middle of my sleep, I woke up to being slapped. Gohan had mounted me and began repeatedly slapping me, yelling at me in Korean, and he said, "Yeah, he said, yeah, so in English that translates to, hey, you bastard, are you not going to say hello to your dad?" Which was one of the instances that he told me he ended up getting beat in. He continued hitting me, and I started crying and begging for him to get off of me. And he wouldn't. So at that time, I will admit that I hit him back. I hit him back so that he would get off of me. Then I asked him, what the hell is wrong with you? And he told me, this is how my dad used to beat me. So don't you dare look me in the eyes ever again and tell me that what I'm doing is an excuse.
That is a clear lie. I think she claims 3 instances where she claims that I abused her. Number 1 is when I was drunk. It happened, I admit. Second is that I slapped her while she was trying to sleep in her mom's house on Thanksgiving. I did not. The last and third one is that she claims
in the middle of my sleep.
In the middle of her sleep, I slapped her.
Gohan had mounted me and began repeatedly slapping me.
This is a situation where it is a straight up lie. She says I woke her up by slapping her, mounted her, slapped her multiple times, saying and that is basically what she's claiming, if I'm correct. In my previous video, I have stated that she hit me hundreds of times with a metal stick. This is that night. She has sexual kinks. She wanted me to slap her. I slapped her like this. She said, hit harder. What the fuck are you doing? I asked, can I hit you as hard as I can? I don't know why I asked that. Maybe I felt very it was unfair that I was being abused and I couldn't do anything back to her. And she said, yeah, hit as hard as you can. What I actually did was I did hit her as hard as I can. I shouldn't have, obviously. She started whimpering. I did hit her as hard as I can while saying the reason why was because all the beatings I've gotten so far, that the feelings that accumulated so far, my past trauma, yes, it did come into play. I don't know what I was feeling. For some reason, I said that while I was slapping her. She started screaming, "You want to abuse me? You want to abuse me?" And we have 3 tripods, 1 for the phone and 2 for the camera. She broke the leg of a tripod that was already broken, so we couldn't use that tripod anyways. She broke a leg and then tried to hit me with it. And before she did, I grabbed the tripod and I moved a little back, put it on the ground, put my foot on it. I broke myself a piece of metal stick too. And this is one of the rare cases where I tried to defend myself. So we're pointing it at each other. And she's like, oh, you want to fucking go? You want to fucking go? And I'm like, no, I want both of us to let go of these weapons. And I want there to be no violence tonight. Knowing you, it's not going to happen, but I don't want violence. And I will put it down first if you promise that you're going to put your metal stick down. And she's like, oh, you want to go? No, you want to abuse me? Is that it? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? I'm like, no, that is not what I want. She's like, is that what you want? And I start swinging it because I'm terrified in my head. And I'm like, I'm gonna die tonight. I should have just let her do what she wants with that metal stick. I should have not have broken a piece for myself and tried to do this. I hear the
Okay, I gotta stop because he's doing a lot of rambling. Ladies, we talked about this. What is the number one sign of narcissism? What is the number one sign? Because please don't have me waste my time like this. Please get this right. I'm counting on y'all to get this right. I'm counting on y'all to get it right. What is the number one sign of narcissism? What is the number one sign? Yes, rambling. But the rambling leads to what, ladies? What does it lead to? What does it lead to? What does it lead to? It always leads to the truth. The truth. Yes. Y'all getting it. This is why you allow them to ramble. Yes, it's annoying. They repeat themselves a lot, but they eventually tell on themselves. They talk in circles, they ramble, and it leads to the truth. We're learning. I'm so excited.
right here, and her eye changed. She was like, I let go of my metal stick as soon as I saw her eye change, because unless I'm going to swing it and kill her, it's just better for me to let go. I have been tackled by her a couple times, and she's usually the one on the mount position, because when I'm on the mount position, we wrestle on the bed sometimes, and she could easily just flip me over, and I just tumbled back to the floor. When she's on the mount position, I can't. When I wrestle with my friends, when I'm on the mount position, I would just do this and catch them by their here and try to flip it back, so I'm on the reverse mount position. It doesn't work with her. It was a terrifying night for me, where she had the metal stick, and she was like, she kept doing this, and you want to hit me, you want to hit me, you want to hit me. And I was like, you asked me to hit you, and I would have never hit you unless you asked me to, and I'm sorry. And she's like, you want to hit me, you want to hit me. And she mostly did it to my legs. I said hundreds of times, because most of it, I did get hit a couple times in different places, but it was on my legs and my ankle, my foot, the bones that consists my foot. Once every second she would hit me. I'm glad nothing broke that night. The metal stick broke, but my leg didn't break. I just couldn't walk properly for a couple of days. I was limping like this for a couple of days, and there was a situation where, we have mutual friends, there was a situation where I had to hide the fact that I am limping, because Cyril said Yoni Tribe, and I was walking very slowly, so they don't know that I'm limping. Luckily, I didn't get caught. It was a horrifying night for me, which once again reinforced the thought in my head that I should never retaliate or try to defend myself.
So we get in the car, we're driving home, and then he starts crying and he's screaming at me, and he says that he's having a mental breakdown. I told him to relax, and I tried to distract him by trying to get him to put his attention elsewhere. I tried to distract him by asking.
Okay, I need to talk about this, because people are saying that they are both toxic. They are. Okay. Now, this is my theory. This is just my opinion. I think in the beginning of this relationship, she was not toxic. See, when you stay in a toxic relationship too long, you become toxic as well. You start developing these reactive behaviors to the abuse that you are encountering, which leads to you being toxic as well. This is why it's so important that you leave at the first sight of a man being abusive, whether it's emotional or physical. So I think in the beginning, she was a sweetheart. But if someone keeps, hitting you, you're eventually going to be reactive. If someone is being manipulative, you're eventually going to be reactive. If someone is being emotionally abusive and weaponizing your emotional stability, right, against you, you're going to be reactive. So this is why you have to leave. I believe when she got into this, she wasn't doing all of this. But when you stay in an abusive or toxic relationship too long, you start to do things similar to what your abuser is doing because you are reacting to it. Okay? So I just wanted to make that clear because I mean he has admitted that he would hit her first. He has admitted that he does do self-harm. He has admitted to putting his hands on her. He has also admitted to cheating. So I don't know what else to say. Now, is she toxic now? She's going to have to do a lot of healing. She's going to have to take on a healing journey. She's going to have to unlearn and heal from this relationship so that she doesn't carry the abuse that she encountered with this man to a new relationship if she chooses to get into a new relationship. And if I was her therapist, I would tell her not to date for a while because this is a lot. She has gone through a lot. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. I think this relationship made her toxic. It makes, whenever you're in a toxic relationship, it can make you very toxic. So it's just something to think about.
And what he wanted for dinner, if he wanted sushi, if he wanted pizza. And he told me he just wanted to talk to me. So I responded that I can't talk to you when you're like this. So you need to take 5. You can come back and revisit the conversation.
It was a night where we were driving back to her mom's house to pick up the kids because she was watching the kids while we were filming a YouTube video. In my head, I kept on convincing myself, don't let her know anything about the fact that I am soon to leave the country. Remember I said there was a week where I practiced packing my bag and leaving? This was around day 3 or 4. We were in the car. I suddenly felt very sentimental and emotional. I started remembering like old memories of us and how we used to be so happy and not toxic at that time. I said, fuck it. I know it's a risk I shouldn't be taking. If there's even a 1 in a million chance, 1 in a billion chance that we can love each other again and shit could not be toxic, let's bet on it. And I opened up to her saying like, Cyril, I don't like how things are going in our family right now. You burnt me and I wasn't okay with it and it really hurts me. I feel like I'm going insane. You abused me. She didn't want to talk about it anymore. She got mad at me, first of all, for saying she abused me because she was like, well, you don't have any like grounds to speak on that abuse. Can't have that word in your mouth when you're like abusing me too, which is mental abuse. So I break down and I'm crying like crazy. I'm being like, please, just don't talk about stuff like that. And what do you want to eat? She tries to divert and says, do you want to eat like this or that? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about food. I can starve for the next couple of days if anything. I just want to sit down and talk with you about this whole abuse thing. We need this. And she said, like, I am not talking with you while you are emotional. And my mom is coming out of the garage right now, so we got to take 5, go over to that street lamp thing, street lights. They just whatever to calm yourself down. I told you I was breaking down, right? Like I was crying and her mom was coming out, so she didn't want her mom to see me cry. So yeah, I did cry and scream at her.
I came home to my husband's face all bruised and bloody, and I asked him what happened, and he replied that he punched himself. And I know this sounds horrible, but sooner or later it just became something that was normal to me. I
never punch myself when I'm alone. I don't feel the need to do that when I'm alone. I do it so I can express something to other people.
April 10th, 2022 was the night that Gohan left. We were cuddling, watching Bridgerton. We went to Walmart.
What did I say about his self-harming ways? He only does it when he can't get his way. And he's trying to express that in a weird way to whoever he's around because he's not getting his way. It's almost like he's throwing a tantrum. You know, it's almost like a toddler. Now, I don't know if this was something that he would encounter within his childhood. Like, I don't know, he couldn't express himself. And so his way of doing that would be to harm himself. I think he did mention that in a previous video, but of course he doesn't self-harm himself when no one else is around because he can control the things around him when he's by himself. But when he's around others and he feels like he doesn't get his way and he can't get the control that he wants, he starts to self-harm himself and it's manipulated.
Changed the air filter. He gave me a goodnight kiss. He said he loved me and he went to bed. I woke up around 3 a.m. and I noticed that he wasn't next to me in bed, but I just assumed that he was in the bathroom or the office or the kitchen, and I didn't think too much about it. I went back to sleep. I woke up hours later and he still wasn't in bed. I checked my phone and he stopped sharing his location. My heart sank. I checked the whole apartment and he wasn't there. I went into the office and he logged me out of all of our emails and accounts. Luckily, I was still logged into one of them on my phone. I looked at the floor and I saw my passport. That was another red flag because I never keep my important documents like on the floor. So I checked our filing cabinets with that held all of our important documents and everything was gone. Cards, social securities, health insurance, like you name it, it was all gone.
Okay, now I'm going to explain to you guys about the whole running away situations and process. If you saw my first video, you would remember that I said I practiced packing my stuff up and leaving for about a week. I didn't know it was going to be a week. The thing is, I just practiced every day until that day would come. And about a week after she has burnt me, which is early April, one night we were watching Bridgerton or some Netflix series. At that point, I'm trying to, actually for the whole week, I've been trying to not let her like suspect anything or be aware that I might try to run. For me, it was a situation where I felt mentally very unstable. I literally felt like one little mishap and somebody might die, or I might snap and lose everything and go literally insane. The only times I felt like I could breathe was when I was taking a shit in the toilet because she wouldn't come in. So I was like, I'm not letting anybody know. I'm not letting Sir Rose know. Like, there's no way I'm letting her know. After I practiced packing the stuff in my bags, I would put them back in place because she remembers where things are. One night, we were watching a Netflix series and she fell asleep and she was fucking snoring. I thought it was my only fucking chance to leave. My heart's literally beating. I take a long ass time to quietly as possible get out of the room. I go to my room. I pack the stuff as I practice as much as I can. I kind of worry about like shit, like should I get like pack a couple of clothes in there? But I'm like, let's be smart and not risk anything. If she catches me right now, I'm dead. I put my slipper on and Saphir started crying. It was a time frame where it's like 3 a.m. and he would usually just be asleep at that time. But anyways, I panicked. I held Saphir with one arm and I made a bottle with one hand. It's so easy when you make it with two hands, but like the powder thingy. And then I'm doing this and feeding him, and he's obviously quiet, right? Because he's drinking his milk. I felt heartbroken. Like, you're not gonna see me crying as much as Rose did in this video. I think I'm probably not going to cry because I cried out a lot. Like, I cried out a lot within that like week of trying to run away while I was like 4 to 5 days when I was in America. And after I came back for like 2 weeks, like I cried a lot, like so much to the point I was like, how can a human being like cry this much tear? I'm not going to cry. I laid down Saphir back in his crib and I felt like I was deserting him with Sir Rose. I cried a lot, but I left. I wanted to see Sivan, but he was sleeping. I felt like if I make any big sounds, he's gonna wake up and make noise, and Sir Rose would wake up. Anyways, like 3:30, as soon as I get out of the house, I call my mom and explain like this is the actual situation. There has been so much like this type of abuse, and I'm going back to Korea. I was staying for so long, not able to tell any family members or friends because any like video call or calls would be, Sir Rose would be next to me and she would say, don't let them know or act weird like I'm next to you and make them believe it. So I wasn't able to reach out for help. Like, I'm coming back, Mom, like I love you, I fucking love you guys, and I can't wait to fucking see you. I'm so sorry for everything I've done, and I'll explain when I get there. I call Uber. I already logged out of all the Google accounts, and I changed the password to my email account, where if I use Uber or Airbnb or anything, the receipts will fly over there. So I had to change my password. After I clearly checked that I changed the password to that email, I used an Uber to get into a nearby city called Boise. We were living in Meridian. When we got to Boise, I found out that the nearest Chase Bank, which is what we use, that opens at the earliest time, which is 9 a.m., was in Boise. So I waited in like a cafe nearby. As soon as it hit 9, I went to the bank, and it is a joint account, guys. The money we make from YouTube and sponsorship money all goes into a joint business bank account that me and Sir Rose's name are both on there. The reason why I claim that I was financially abused and that I didn't have access to the money is that if I tried to use money, she would say no. And she would always ask me if she can use money for this. And I would always say yes. If I said no, she would lash out at me. And if I kept pushing that I want to spend the money in our bank account this way, then it would not look good for me either, living with her. At that point, in front of the Chase Bank, I'm thinking 2019, our tax reports are that we made an income of $70,000. 2020 is $70,000. 2021, we have made around $200,000. And we are currently making a lot more too. So I'm thinking we made like hundreds of and thousands of dollars. I am leaving this country with absolutely no money at all, and I don't think that's fair. I think even if we can't just split it in half, right, like how much we made on YouTube, because we did both live there and there are living expenses and car expenses and daily life expenses, and aside from joint expenses, if we divided everything half, she would still have to give me like somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000. 25% of everything we made would be somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000. And I went to the Chase Bank and I said, how much money can I take out? I already done my research. I already Googled a lot of stuff, which was that I cannot take the kids to my country. If I don't get consent from steroids, which is not happening, it's still going to be kidnapping. And now I'm going to have an official record that I tried to kidnap the kids and it would backfire on me in court. What I could have done is call the cops and ask for help. But to me at that time, it was too much of a variable. If it doesn't go how I planned, and she's like, they're literally detaining her for a longest time while I'm getting my shit together, which I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that with no income reports that I can use to get me and my kids a place or a car. I don't even have a driver's license at that time. I have contemplated and thought of options that I could have taken instead of running back to my country. But at that time, I just wanted to breathe. I just wanted to breathe. I literally had a hard time breathing. So anyways, I go in there, I ask them how much I can take from the account. They say about 20,000, but I know that Zeros is about to get a house, and if I take too much of amount of money, then the underwriter would say something suspicious and the process might get delayed, or she might fail in getting that $500,000 house that she bought. I say I'm going to take $10,000. I did get that $10,000 in cash, because if I don't do it in cash and I just transfer it to my account, I know she's going to call and reverse the process. I needed money to buy plane tickets, and I needed money to stay in this place anywhere safe. And I know I needed money when I come back to Korea, because already she's in America with 2 kids, and I'm trying my best to get as much custody I can of the kids, and she lives in goddamn America. If I try to get an international divorce from Korea, what am I gonna do if she just doesn't respond and be like, fuck you? Like, I'm not going to Korea to get a divorce or a custody or anything. If I have to go to America, that's more money I need for a plane ticket and a place to stay for a couple, probably months.
The officer said with the amount of money he took and with him refusing to give your documents back, if you press charges right now, we'll be able to go and arrest him.
Anyways, I get a call from the police, but I ignore that call. He said, the police officer sends me a text saying this woman has labeled you as missing and that you have taken money out of the account and is trying to leave the country. And I say, it's true, I'm trying to leave the country. I have taken money out of the account because it is a joint account, and I do have legal rights to take money out of the account. But I am trying to leave the country because of domestic violence, and she has abused me. And for example, is like her burning me or having knives in my throat, and there was constant physical violence for about 3 years. And I am trying to go back to my country and think of consequences later. And he said, you're a free grown man and you have all the rights in the world to do that. Thanks for clarifying it with me. You're a free man. And then he hangs up the call, and something's just fishy to me. Maybe I was paranoid. I was just thinking they're gonna still try to catch and hold me if I go to the airport in Boise. I sleep a couple nights in Boise in different places, and I decide to take the Greyhound to a state that's nearby, which is Oregon. I go to Portland International Airport, and I already made myself a new Google email so I can use to register for various stuff like Uber or Airbnb and to buy plane tickets. I am not the self-harming monster manipulative abuser that she is making me out to be. I am just a man who loved her to death and wanted to give her the 8 kids a big house in the backyard that she wanted, and allowed and forgave her for the violence she did for the sake of the family that I made.
How was you gonna do that with no job? Like, how was you gonna do that with no job and you lazy? Oh my goodness.
And I chose, while I would prefer not to have gone through any of this, I do not regret meeting her or going through any of this, because we had Savan and Saphir. I still remember me watching Savan and crying because of how close he looked like to me. I knew what love was. I mean, like, from a father to a child. And I genuinely thank you for having them for us. And I know you said it's kind of extreme and it's kind of too much, but I still would take a bullet for Savan and Saphir. You knowing the truth, I do not understand why you would try to paint me out to be someone that evil and without a heart, because you know I love the kids. That's it for this video. I'm sorry, guys, for this whole thing happening. I think she says she'll take down the video for like the kids can see it. I do think it will be shocking for them, and I promise also that she will take down her video too. That I will also take down the video, the recording, and this video before it can, like, the kids can see it. Anyhow, I will be fighting for the kids. Thank you for watching the video. This was not easy to talk about. I do have so much more to say. She is literally brainwashing everybody near her, like, who used to be my friends, manipulating them, telling lies about me. But I don't think that's something I'm supposed to care about at this point of time. I should be worrying about how I'm going to make enough money to hire an international lawyer. But I just want you guys to know my main worries are the kids. How to finalize the situation legally. I will not be talking about this matter on the YouTube or any social media anymore. There will not be any more videos after this about this matter. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's it, y'all. I don't feel like this video helped his case. Do you want me to react to the phone recording? I don't feel like we need to. I mean, the man just told on himself throughout this entire live. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. So y'all let me know. I don't feel like it's necessary. This is crazy. No? No, please. Okay, yeah. I don't want to listen to it because he's just a manipulator. You know, that whole, I mean, he would admit something and then he would justify it, or he would excuse his actions. You can't go around hitting someone first and then not expect for them to react to it. Now, am I saying that you should hit somebody back? No, but if you are in self-defense, you're defending yourself. So I don't know what you expect for a pregnant woman to do when a man is aggressively slapping her, hitting her in the face. I don't know what y'all expect for women to do. So he literally told on himself. You know, he confirmed a lot of things that she said in her video. That's what I got. That is exactly what I got. And he was cheating. I mean, that's all I got, y'all. I don't like how he's trying to paint Black people though. When he was doing all of this, terrorizing this woman. I mean, he was terrorizing her. So I hope Soros, I hope she moves on with her life. I hope she takes on a healing journey. Wait, Liana, can you please react? Hold on, wait a minute. I hope Soros takes on a healing journey, and I hope she starts the process, because when you get done dealing with narc abuse like this, it's a lot. It will change your life forever. Can you please react to the side? Woman going viral about not caring about the husband cheating. Oh, I saw that. I'm going to come back on here. I'm going to move on to my next topic, and we're actually just in time for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start it now. So if you want to go ahead and join me on my next live, I'm going to be right over there. So give me about, what time is it? It's 9:30. I would say give me about till 9:40. Okay, because I could start it earlier. Give me about 9:40 and then I'll be back. I'm going to be doing a reaction to the woman going viral because she was with an attractive man, and it went viral on TikTok. It was on Good Morning America. And then also, I think the other part in that was the video about the friends that you realize that a friend of yours wasn't actually a good friend. I'm going to be reacting to that. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. I will see you guys in 10 minutes. All right. Bye. Oh, please give the video a thumbs up. Please. Thanks. I would really appreciate it. Please give the video a thumbs up. All right. Y'all have, well, I'll see you in 10. Bye.